Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So over the past couple of days, we've heard a lot of rumors surrounding the New York Jets and a possible trade with a wide receiver, whether it's a DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks and AJ Brown from the Tennessee Titans. But the one name that I saw that just, it completely caught me off guard was Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, before we dive into this, I do want to say that, you know, these rumors aren't really concrete. You know, it's not like the 49ers are taking calls. They're not actively picking up the phone, shopping them to different NFL teams. He's not on the trade block by any means. All of these rumors are really starting based off an assumption that contract extension talks fall through, much like we saw with Tyreek Hill. But I gotta be honest, I feel like at this point, it's starting to turn into the game of let's just go down the list of young wide receivers that are due for contract extensions and let's just assume that they fail or that they can't really make any progress. Another really popular name that I keep seeing everywhere is Chase Claypool of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, he's not due for an extension this offseason, but he's going into year 3, so it would obviously be that following season. But I think it was either Peter King or Mike Florio that suggested Claypool could possibly be on the move, maybe an option for the Green Bay Packers. So it's interesting from that aspect. But going back to Deebo here, he is an absolute animal. Okay, that's not a surprise. That's not a shock to anybody. I mean, he really burst out onto the scene this past season. It's not to discredit what he's done previously, but this past year, man, he just lit it up. He was hurting defenses all over the place. The 49ers were lining him up in crazy different formations, putting him in motion. I mean, Deebo Samuel is the ultimate weapon. I mean, he's such a Swiss Army knife, such a versatile piece for any sort of West Coast offense, right? Any I would probably say all 32 teams in the league would love to have a guy in Deebo Samuel, which leads me to my next point. If he does in fact become available, of course I would want the New York Jets to be all over this. We know this Jets team wants to add at least one more wide receiver to this room, right? Give Zach Wilson more support. He's going into year 2. It's a thin position. We don't really have that true wide receiver 1 on the team, although I do really like Elijah Moore, and I also think he's going to take a big step next season. But I mean, when we just take a look at, you know, the roster from top to bottom here at wide receiver, we really lack that top end talent. And it was no secret that the Jets were interested in Calvin Ridley, right? It seemed like that trade was actually going to happen up until the betting thing came out, right, where Calvin Ridley, you know, obviously put money on, I think it was one game from the Atlanta Falcons this past season after he stepped away and got suspended. We know that the Jets were obviously interested in Amari Cooper until Cleveland came in and, you know, swooped in with their minimal compensation. And then, according to Adam Schefter, we knew that the Jets were seriously a decision away from landing one of the best wide receivers in all of football in Tyreek Hill. We were ready to trade away a ton of draft capital, not as much as Miami gave up, but still, I mean, we were ready to part ways with 2 second-round picks and more to go land Hill. So adding another wide receiver to this room isn't some crazy wacky idea. I think Joe Douglas in this front office is really going through the motions here. They're trying everything. They're looking at every single option and you know, trying to figure out who is the best option here. So look, Deebo Samuel, is it realistic? I would have to say probably not. But if you were to ask me, you know, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, is Tyreek Hill going to be playing on another team? I would have said absolutely not. No way. There's not a chance. It doesn't make any sense why the Chiefs would trade. I mean, this is a win-now football team. Tyreek Hill is still a young player that's continuing to get better. He's continuing to dominate. He's not slowing. He's not showing any signs of slowing down. Why would they trade Tyreek Hill? Okay, so we've seen stranger things happen. We've seen crazy fallouts. We've seen these contract talks go south. But I do think it's a little, we are jumping the gun a little bit when we just start listing off all these wide receivers and just saying, oh yeah, if their contract talks fall through, the Jets are going to be keeping an eye on them, because I feel like you could kind of see that with virtually every team out there, right? Every team that could afford to bring guys in with the, you know, available cap space. But, you know, Deebo Samuel, I feel like DK Metcalf is the one that he's the star receiver out of them all that I feel like will be moved or has the most chance to be moved, right, odds-wise, over a Deebo Samuel, over a Chase Claypool, I mean, over A.J. Brown, too. I mean, you look at A.J. Brown's stats. Well, number one, you look at Tennessee right now. I mean, this is a win-now football team. They could very well win the AFC South and get back to the playoffs next season, even with Matt Ryan, or, you know, with Ryan's addition to the Colts. I don't see this team trading away one of their biggest assets. A.J. Brown is literally on pace to becoming one of the best Titans wide receivers in franchise history. I don't think they're going to move off of a guy like that because they just don't want to pay him the money. But again, I could be wrong. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Is Deebo Samuel actually realistic here, or is it just a pipe dream, or do you think it could actually work out? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and as always, go Jets.